So in 3 months, we were able to go from $0 to $25,000 cash collected with our SMMA. These are the first 3 months that I did in this SMMA industry. I had experience before with dropshipping and with those kind of things, but today I want to talk about this journey. This was an exciting journey, but at the same time, it was full of mistakes and full of headaches, and I want you guys to avoid the same mistakes and avoid the same problems that I faced. So I want to talk about my story, what I did in the first month, in the second month, third month, and then after that I want to give you some advice, some tips that I wish that I had when I was starting out with this business, and some things that helped us to go from 0 to 25K cash collected in just 3 months, in just the first 3 months of the business. So let's start. Before launching this business, this is exactly what happened. I was overthinking this. I was not really sure about launching an agency. I wanted to get a job as an appointment setter. As you guys know, I was an appointment setter for another coaching company and I was making for them $80,000 cash collected. But then after finishing with this job, I felt like I needed to learn something else. I felt like something was missing. So I was looking for a job, and then I was trying to look for a job in another country. I was trying to make a lot of things happen, but they were not really working out. I was looking for the perfect job, and because of that, I ended up wasting like 1 month trying to look for something else. And the problem here is that I was just overthinking, right? I was not sure about how I am gonna solve this problem. But then what happens if this client tells me this? What happens if the client tells me the other thing? And then how I am gonna create a contract? And then how I am gonna do this and this and this and this? And because of that, I was just in the same place for 1 month. And it is really painful because in that month, I could have made my first $2,000, $3,000, $10,000. And then today maybe I would be at $50,000 a month, who knows? But yeah, that is the first thing that happened. But then at the end, my sister encouraged me to start this business. She encouraged me just to go for it. I was thinking about launching a business in a different niche, something that was more simple. But then I decided to take this plunge. She helped me to, she gave me like the last push, and I ended up launching appointmentsetting.io, even though I felt like I was not ready. Then after that, in the first month, I was kind of like stuck. You guys know my story. I was stuck for the first weeks with my business. Even though I had all of this experience as an appointment setter, still I was not able to get my first clients. So I was creating content, but realistically I was not sending enough messages per day. So that was a huge problem because I didn't have appointments, I didn't have clients, I didn't have anything. And that was really frustrating. But then everything changed once I hired my first appointment setter. I had this breakthrough because of what Alex Hormozzi says, volume negates luck. Actually, I was listening to that podcast in the gym, I think. And then after that, I realized, man, I have to do something different in order to finally make this work. I have to put a system in place so that I can guarantee results. Because if I send thousands of messages a day, for example, that was my idea, it is almost guaranteed that I will get clients. And that's exactly what happened. Because after 3 days of working with this appointment setter, I got my first client, then 3 days later my second client, and 3 days later my third client. And after this, because of how we were improving, because I was taking action in a really fast way, we were able to collect 10.5K in just 35 days, just because of all of the things that we were doing. And things were going really well. But now let me talk about the next month, because not everything is just sunshine and rainbows. So what happened in the second month is that because I got these clients, I started working with them finally. So a lot of people struggle to get their first client, but I believe that the problem starts once you get those clients, because now you have to deliver the process. And I remember that at the time I had like a stomachache and I was feeling really bad because I was really scared. I was really nervous. I didn't know how to fulfill the service. Even though I had an idea, kind of like I had some thoughts and some strategies in mind, in reality I didn't know how to fulfill. But turns out that this client actually got amazing results. He was able to get a client after two or three weeks, and it was like amazing because now with my help, he was actually able to get to make money, right? And that is like the perfect scenario, the perfect. This is something that hopefully you can understand this. But even if you feel scared about selling your first program or your first service, believe me, you can be amazed of what your brain can do when it is in a bad position, when it is in a tough position, not a bad position, because getting a client is amazing. But when you are in these difficult positions, your brain all of a sudden starts working like the productivity is gonna be like quadruple. I don't know how to explain that, 4x the productivity. But the idea is that I was able to get the first clients for him, but then with other clients I started to see that some of them were not getting the same results. So this month was pretty stressful because I had to figure out a way to give them results. So I had to think about new methods that could work. And something interesting that happened is that in order to bring results for my clients, I ended up using strategies that were completely different to the things that I was doing as an appointment setter. So that is something massive, because I was booking a lot of calls as an appointment setter, I was using a specific strategy, but then when I ended up launching my business and helping my clients, I ended up doing something completely different. So as you can see, it's not like you need to have a lot of strategies. You don't need to have all the answers before you can actually launch this business. So this is what happened. We got a lot of restrictions as well with my own personal profile and with my own business, and because of that, we were booking a lot of appointments in the first month. We booked like 30 appointments in the first month, but then after that, because of these restrictions, let me put it this way, without restrictions, we could have booked like 50 appointments right away. But because of these massive restrictions, we started complementing these appointments with other sources of traffic like Instagram, like YouTube, like Twitter, LinkedIn, and then we were able to book the same amount of appointments, 30 to 40. This was October basically. And after this, something started to happen because I decided to make a massive investment, and all the cash that I collected went to an investment into myself. I decided to invest in a program because I said, you know what, I have all of this money in the bank. I think that it would be smarter if I invest in myself in order to find better solutions for my clients. So in the third month, basically here we started getting even more clients. Things started to become more complex because now I have to deliver results for multiple clients at the same time. Another thing that happened is that sales started to become a little bit more simple because I started improving my scripts. My sales skills started to improve, and now I knew what I needed to do and what I didn't need to do in the sales calls. Still to this day, I feel like sales is my weakest point, but still things started to become more simple. People started saying yes to any offer that I made to them, and that was an amazing experience. But because of these new strategies that we learned, we were able to book around 50 appointments in November. And again, we started facing more issues. I started to see that I needed more help, and that's why I decided to bring a partner into the business, just so that I could get more help with the specific areas of the business. And again, things started to work out in a better way because now I had the chance to invest more time into specific areas where I have more expertise, and that's exactly what I did. And now this is December, so this is kind of like the fourth month. This is the first week of December, so this is like a record, but we actually booked 17 appointments in just a week. And in this week, basically in the transition of this week, today it is Monday, we already booked like 10 appointments just for today, just for today and tomorrow. So as you can see, we are testing these strategies. We decided to start bringing more people, more talented people into the team, training them more. We started selling new offers in order to give better results for our clients. But that's basically what happened. But now I want to talk about some tips and some things that I want to share so that you can avoid making the same mistakes that I made. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that here, you have to start as soon as possible because you will never be ready. The mistake that I made when I started, like I said before, is that I thought that I needed more money. I thought that I needed more ideas, more strategies, more skills, more knowledge, when in reality I didn't need anything, because you can have the perfect skills, or you can have the perfect strategy, you can have a lot of skills, but when you launch your business, you're gonna face things that you will never expect. So it doesn't matter where you are at with your skills or with your knowledge, because at the end of the day you will have to figure out a way to solve problems that you don't know, that you don't even recognize yet. You will have to solve problems that are really different compared to the things that you have in your mind right now. So that's why ideally you have to start as soon as possible, because the sooner you start, the sooner you are gonna solve these problems, and the sooner you solve these problems, the sooner you are gonna make more money. The second thing is that I wish that I had a mentor when I was starting out, because in this case, in the past, I paid for a lot of programs and I actually learned a lot. And when I started a new business, I started following those steps. But in this case, I wanted to test and do everything on my own, and that's good. But at the same time, I wasted a lot of time because I was not even sure about how to start. Because yes, some of these things worked, but at the end of the day, I wasted like 2 or 3 months just thinking about what to do next. So if you can get someone that can tell you exactly what you need to do step by step, then you're gonna save a lot of time. And what can happen if you can save 2 or 3 months of your time? You could be making 5K, 20K in those 2 to 3 months. So it is not worth it to waste time trying to figure out everything on your own when someone else already achieved the things that you want to achieve. So just invest in someone. This doesn't have to be me or anything. I don't know, this could be anything, but my idea here is that just get a mentor, someone that can guide you and someone that achieved the things that you want to achieve, because you're gonna save a lot of time. The third part actually is that you have to sell an offer that doesn't have a lot of competition. Because if you try to sell the same offer around Facebook ads, the same offer around, for example, maybe you have an e-commerce agency, that's great, but if you try to sell the same thing as everybody else, then you're gonna start competing with everybody else, right? And that's not good. So for example, I launched my appointment setting agency, and at the time, and to this day, I don't think that there is like a course or a program that teaches you how to launch an appointment setting agency. And because of that, to be honest, I think that this is why we were able to go from 0 to 25K in just 3 months. I think that this appointment setting agency is one of the best offers that you can sell right now. And but this is not the only option. There are other options. You can have an offer around TikTok ads, around TikTok, or you can create short form content. And I say TikTok because when I was an appointment setter, I was helping a coaching company that was talking about TikTok. So I had to talk about TikTok every single day. And in this case, I knew that a lot of people were interested in this topic. I remember that we were talking with with the biggest players in the game, even though we were not that big, just because we were talking about TikTok, and TikTok is so new. So if you if you are able to dominate this market today, you're gonna be able to conquer the world, basically. You're gonna be able to have really big clients just because of how new this is. For example, you can offer to edit videos and then transform long videos into TikTok videos as well. So you can see that you can leverage trends in order to get more clients, and you can leverage trends in order to have a better opportunity in your sales calls to close those deals. The next point is that you don't have to be afraid of facing massive problems, because your brain will figure out a way to make things happen. And a lot of people talk about this, but at the same time, not a lot of people believe in themselves, and not a lot of people give themselves a chance in order to let their brain do the hard work. Because I promise that if you put yourself in a tough situation, your brain will find a solution. So if you get a client, like I said before, all of a sudden your brain will start thinking in a different way, and you will find better solutions. You will have to think about new ways, you will have to innovate, and because of that, you will find solutions, and when you find solutions, you will make more money. So even if you are not sure about how to solve a problem, still in the sales calls say, yeah, I know how to solve that problem. That's exactly what Bill Gates did, right? What Steve Jobs, what all of these guys did in the past. Even this guy, Larry Ellison, all of these guys promised something that they didn't know how to do, right? They didn't know how to solve the problem, but because they were so confident in themselves, they were able to find a solution, and now they are billionaires. So you can do something like that, and it's not like you don't have to be ethical, unethical. You don't have to be unethical. But here, what I am trying to say is that you can say, yeah, I can find a solution to that problem. You can be transparent and say, yeah, to be honest, I don't have experience with this yet, but I know that I can find a solution here. So for example, I started hiring people to do cold calling, and at the time I didn't have experience about that, but I was confident about these ideas and how these strategies would work out, and because of that I said exactly that. You know what? I have appointment setting experience when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, but I know that I can find a solution for the problem that you have when it comes to cold calls. If you want to do cold calls, I will figure out a way. And then turns out that today one of our clients got 4 appointments, right? So you will always find a way to make this work. Another thing that I wanted to point out before I end this video is that the first thing is that you don't have to be afraid to put yourself in difficult positions. This must be basically your only plan. Plan A, there is no plan B. So for example, in my case, when I launched this agency, this was the only plan that I had, because I moved to a different city, I burned the boats, and basically this was the only option. And because of that, again, your brain will figure out a way to make things happen, and things actually happened. Because for the longest time, I was living in my hometown, I was living in a really comfortable place, and nothing was working out. But when I decided to make a big change, when I put myself in a really difficult position, finally things started to work. After years and years of failure. So don't make the mistakes that I made. And another thing, I wanted to quit a lot of times, especially in the last few months, because I had a lot of problems. I didn't know how to solve the problems for certain clients, and I had to face massive things. I have to face massive problems. I had to hire 6, 7, 8, 10 team members at this point, and then I had to fire some of them. I had to make the payments. I only had like $500 in my bank account at some point, just because I took too many risks. And then things start to happen, right? I started to see the light, and now things are going well, and now to me it is impossible to quit anymore. There's no reason for me to quit, but only two months ago I was almost ready to quit. I wanted to move to a different city again. I wanted to get a job, and this is just me being transparent, because this is something that you're gonna face. But at the same time, when you go through this journey, that's when things start to happen, because if you want to become the person that makes 10K a month, 100K a month, and if you are not there, that means that you have to become a completely different person. So just keep that in mind. You have to become someone different, you have to think in a different way, you have to put yourself in different situations, and by doing that, you are going to succeed. So just keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it for this video. Just follow the tips that I gave you. Make sure to check out the content in my YouTube channel where I talk about exactly what I did in order to get my first clients. I will leave a link probably here or somewhere. How I got my first clients, the strategies that I use, the platforms that I use as well, how to hire team members. I will talk about everything here in my YouTube channel, but just make sure to follow this. And basically in this video, I just wanted to talk about my experience after launching my SMMA, what happened in the last 3 months. And yeah, this is just my honest experience. I wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully this video is helpful. Hopefully this video inspires a lot of people. And if you guys have more questions, make sure to let me know, leave a comment, subscribe to this channel, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.